Good evening from sunny Florida today. It actually was a beautiful day, but we had torrential rain yesterday. Anyway, my topic this evening is the invisible system that's keeping you broke and how you can break free in 2025. Broke in the system? So stay tuned on Stay With Me, please. Are you constantly working and still broke? This is not your fault, but it is your responsibility if you want to get it fixed. Hi, Joy. Hi, Carolyn. What if I told you there's a trap that looks like a good job? Hi, Grandma. Looks like a good job, but it's actually stealing your time, your health, and your future. That's not a very good combination. Wouldn't you agree with that? Tonight, I'm going to show you the truth. Why 9 to 5s, jobs, pensions, and playing it safe are leaving so many families after doing everything right. I literally was there myself too. The, the first part I'm talking about is the system no one talks about. They don't. They just expect you to understand and know or just follow. Remember the game we played in kindergarten, follow the leader? That's very similar. Why the system was designed was post World War II. For factory workers. Hey, oh, hey, hi, Will. I don't know how to do that, Will. I would love to accept. I'm a neophyte on this. I'm not techie. I'm the first one to admit it. That's honest. It's honest truth. But the reality is why the system was designed post World War II, as I've mentioned many times, for factory workers, not today's world. The 40 high user and two users, okay, the 40-40-40 myth, 40-hour work week, 40 years to retire on 40%. That, which doesn't work anymore. 40%? Yeah, 40% of what? 40% of zero equals what? Zero, they say? Anyway, here some new stats. Over 65% of Americans in their 60s plan to unretire because they can't afford to stop working. That's pitiful. When you really break it down, that really is pitiful. I'm on live YouTube and TikTok, so if I keep moving my head, I want to focus fairly. But personal story for me a little bit. I promise I won't bore you. But after 44 years in real estate, I found myself scared to go to the grocery store, retired, but not free. That's even more frightening when you deal with something in life like that. You know, what burnout really costs you. When I say you, I'm talking you in general, myself, all of us, anyone. What it really costs. It's not just about money, it's about time, relationships, and most importantly, your health. The invisible costs of trading time for income, you miss the moments that matter most. Your life today. It's not like it used to be. Not when my parents were here and raising me. Times have changed. But then again, that was the industrial age. We haven't been there in quite some time. But AI, artificial intelligence, everybody's heard about that, is and automation are replacing jobs faster than ever. This is the new warning sign. I mean, think about it. I've mentioned this once before. They're coming out with trucks that run on their own, artificial intelligence will be driving trucks. So that's going to be down the road, another industry or line of business that's going to be replaced. So much is being replaced. And I'm sure if you look around, grocery stores, Sam's Club, Costco's, you name it, Walmart's, Publix, well, Publix in Florida, but ShopRite's, a lot of the cashiers are automated now. You're doing it yourself. The prices didn't go down, but the responsibilities for us went up, right? Um, that's no lie. But I'm just pointing out automation is replacing with AI so many people's jobs that aren't going to be here. So backup plans are important to do now, not tomorrow or later. Do it while it's time. Hi, Mama. Uh, but that's another situation that needs to be addressed. If you don't own your income, you'll always be owned by your job. Who's the boss? Not you. If your job is running the show or your line of business, whatever you want to call it, uh, you know, what would an extra couple hours a day mean to your life? Meaning a couple hours of freedom in your life. What would that mean to you? You know, the mindset, which is what runs our lives, if you think about it, that kept me stuck for a long time. I'm one of my things. I'm too old. I'm in my 70s. This isn't for people like me. It sounds like a scam. Everybody runs those thoughts in their mind, right? These weren't just thoughts, they were survival mode beliefs. We all came from, a similar way of living. Some are younger, some are older, but we're still all human. I mean, if you prick yourself, you're going to bleed. We all have similarities in a lot of ways, but the truth will rob your future faster than failure ever will. It's fear that stops people from doing so much in their life, which I've always related to fear. False evidence appears real because our mind makes us to believe that's that's not good. Fear, it's not going to help you. Definitely not when you're dealing with life in any way from a negative mindset. That's um, a known fact. I had to unlearn seriously what success looked like. I've been there, and I can help. You know, the shift that changed everything for me and so many thousands of others. I stopped chasing the next sale because if you're chasing the dollar, you're heading in the wrong direction. That's not how you create money at all. Hi, Robert. But it's not. So I had to unlearn it all because hustle does not equate to wealth. You're hustling, and that's not going to bring you your self worth, income, peace of mind, or anything. And if anything, you get to that mindset that fear kicks back in. I stopped chasing it all. I stopped chasing the next sale. I started following a proven system. Since it's working for thousands of others, why not me? Why not you? 100% profit I get, no overhead, no monthly expenses, no hidden costs, and a lot of things that we all do in life. All of a sudden, after you start doing it, oh, you got this miscellaneous expense, you got that, all the hidden fine print that you didn't know about. That's what I anticipated. However, it's not the case. I receive 100% profit on any and all sales with zero overhead, real mentorship whenever I needed high user, a digital model built for people who don't want to build alone. It's business in a box. Just basically plug in and get trained and earn and learn at the same time. That to me was like, wow, wowza. that's even better, you know? I don't have to, like you go through college or whatever. You have to complete all your education and then cross your fingers and hope you get a firm that's going to pay you what you think you were informed you might get. But that's not the case. It certainly isn't. I've seen way too many people, high six figure earners, getting laid off left and right. There's no loyalty or security in a job. Never has been, and there never will be. A lot of times we sell ourselves that bill of goods that, oh, I got a great job. Maybe at the moment, that doesn't mean it's going to be for everlasting. Hi, Wendy. Thank you for joining. But learn and earn at the same time. It's not one of those things that you invest and you get a tutorial you have to read, and then you try to reach out for some explanation or help. It's not one of those. It's live interactive and a tremendous support system with community and CEOs or mentors. So that's all included. But what I learned, it's not about adding more work. It's about removing the wrong kind of work. Hi, Tom. You know, comment in, now, by the way, I work about maybe 2 hours a day. I don't count my TikTok or my YouTube lives as work. Number one, I enjoy it. And number two, I'm hoping I'm helping other people wake up and see what's going on around you and prepare yourself. Hi, butterfly. But that, so I just work a couple hours a day, but I have peace of mind and something I never had before, especially in the traditional world of work. Hi, Arthur and user. But so but I never had that when I did real estate, the traditional type of career. Comment info, and I'll send you all the details. It's no pitch, just what I follow every day. It's a bonus. It costs you nothing to explore. What it could cost you by doing nothing and having struggles, you could find yourself repeating the same process 6 months or a year from now. So I'm just trying to educate people to be able to make a choice and a decision on your own terms. But what's possible now? I travel without permission. I don't have to get time off because let's face it, in the world of traditional business, if you're not working, you're not getting paid. When you take time off, that's beyond your allowable time that they claim you get. You're not being paid for that. So I wanted to make certain I had, hi, Lisa, and I want is protecting myself, my future, my family, because I have dreams and goals and I don't work 24/7. Now I get to enjoy myself. I love gardening. I'm a fur baby mama, not to mention grand and great grandmother too. And I have hobbies and passions that I like to do that now allows me to do all that. And that's what I never had the time before. I'd either get home too late or have to leave too early or have to do something, run back out again. Hi, Red Trouser, I think, and Larry. So that's another facet that I absolutely love because I'm in the driver's seat. It's my job, my business. I own it, but I'm not alone. I have so much support and help because if you could have seen me when I first started doing this, oh my goodness, I've come a long way because of the training and connecting the dots. But I was never one. I used to think TikTok, for starters, was for my son used to do stuff. So I assumed it was some kind of a thing that you play games on. I'm sure they have games, but I never knew it had the variety, the versatility of so much more. And YouTube, I was, if I had a question or wanted to get information, YouTube, and Google, those are the two largest. And what I think Google owns YouTube. So that was my place of where I go to. But now I get to enjoy my life and do stuff and have freedom. the freedom. We don't get time back. Life is minuscule. We're a drop in the bucket here. I mean, if you live to 100 or a little over, that's phenomenal, right? But when you look at the large picture, how long the world has been around, we're here for a teeny weeny piece of time. Animals, fur babies, cats, and dogs, their lifespan is so short. It's heartbreaking when you really think about it. And nobody wants to go too old, especially if you don't have all your faculties working. So, to me, I want to enjoy and breathe easy and have peace because, as I said, you can't get time back. Every minute that goes by is history. And it's always better to be in the driver's seat in anything you do in life. But I get to travel. I don't need permission when I feel like it. I'm paying down debt. I give to family and I help many others. And guess what? I sleep peacefully at night now. No more flipping the stupid pillow because of stress and worry. And and men from around the world who were stuck just like I was as well. They're now making three, six, $900 on a sale per sale, and many daily because they learned a smarter and better way. Why work harder when you learn to work smarter? It makes more sense. It takes less out of you because, as I said, we're here a short period of time. Make the best and the most of it, right? No one's If no one's ever told you you're allowed to start over, you're allowed to build something new, even if it scares you. I mean, think about it. When we were little tots, we crawled. If we didn't take that plunge and walk, we would never grow. We would just be crawling around the world versus walking. Or when you get your driver's permit and you first go out there and drive, wow, it feels like you have, and it does, you have that freedom because you can go wherever you want. Maybe you have to, listen to your parents, obviously, but what I'm pointing out is that that gave us such a free pathway for the next stage and next step in our lives. Everything has steps and stages. It's what you do with it or what you don't do with it. Think about that. You know, has anybody ever experienced anything like I'm talking about? Does anybody do any kind of marketing online? Uh, You know, don't be afraid to say do you do digital marketing? Are you doing affiliate, multi-level marketing, or a virtual assistant? Hi, Tony. But let me know because I've been blessed and I'm so thankful I discovered it. Hi, Tony. Thank you. How are you? I hope everyone's well. Where is everybody from? Everybody knows I'm Florida. And if you don't, I am from Florida. Not initially, but I am now because I love not having to wear sweaters and coats and snowsuits and boots and all that stuff. I did that for most of my life. You don't know what? Oh, Sean, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but yes, I do. I know a lot about what I'm talking. I'm not somebody that just talks about something because I feel like it. I talk about it because I understand it and I know it and I'm certified to discuss it and be a mentor. So I know a lot more than meets the eye, so to speak. And I didn't when I started. However, I learned. Chicago, is it nice, Tony? Oh, I just got over one blood vessel that popped in one eye. Oh my gosh. And many people have said, I'm wearing a wig. No way. This is my hair. I don't have a wig. I don't have much gray yet. For 73, that's pretty cool, right? But this is my hair. It's not a wig because I see that often on comments when I get off that people say I'm wearing a wig, but I'm not. It's my hair. But anyway, yeah, I do talk a lot. The women are known for that. So, but anyway, thank you, Tony. Thank you. I appreciate that because I'm not rambling. I I don't have to do this. I do this to help others. That's my goal is to help people get out of that struggle and financial um, overwhelm that they're dealing with. Because when I mention it, 65, 63% of wannabe retirees can't. They have to go back to work. Inflation is skyrocketed. Back in 1950s, one job supported a home, a household, the family, kids, wife, husband, you name it, and even a pet. Today, two jobs are not even covering a household. Three is just about making it. Three incomes to survive in today's economy because pensions are not what you thought because pensions were developed way back decades ago anticipating lifespans would be 61, 65, somewhere in that range. And look what's happened with that. Social Security has raised the age brackets because, and now I hear it's going to 70. It was 62, then it was 65, then 66, and next increase is going to be 70 because people are living longer. Um, Thank you, Tony, for identifying that. Yeah, but I get along great with my teenage grandchildren. However, they know me, but I appreciate that. It's very respectful of you, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, Tony. Seriously, uh, but the reality. Hi, Randy. I had a brother named Randy, but he passed away too young. Uh, However, in reality, things are not what they used to be years ago. And what I do here is just teaching and educating people as to opportunities and options for yourself so you don't fall under because too many people and the housing market has peaked at its all-time high. What goes up must come down. I did that for 44 years and I know it's forthcoming and it's going to crash hard. Remember 2007, everybody? Oh, we never thought it would end, right? Well, this time it's going to be even harder and rougher. So brace yourself, prepare, even if you're doing something like what I do as a supplemental income to give yourself more freedom. I dropped a deuce, peanuts. I don't know who said that, but anyway, I missed that one. Do you like? I love Florida. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Florida is the summers or hurricanes or tornadoes. It's another one, but the summers are kind of hot, really are. However, 8 months, 9 months out of the year, I don't have to shovel, walk on ice, drive in it. So I do like it. I'm on the ocean side, so I get the breeze. The Gulf to me is too warm, but a lot of people like it there. Hey, Bruce. Hey, thank you for joining. So, yes, I do, answering your question, I do like Florida. Um, so that is wonderful. But what I do is global, it's anywhere in the world. There's so many people, Australia, South Africa, England, France, Egypt, I can't even Canada. I mean, you name a country, uh, most portions of it are involved. It's globally. Do you leave when? Um, at first, Tony, I thought I would. However, I got fur babies. I don't know if you could see my shirt with the paws. We have a few adopted senior doggies and kitties, so that becomes a hassle trying to vacate. Our home is pretty sturdy. If it was a cat 5, huh, I think I might consider, but I've been through 1 and some at 2, but we had Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey that wiped out so many people for months without power. So I'll try to stay home, but if it's going to be really, I'm not in a flood area, so that helps too. Otherwise, I just love it here. I'm not on where you said you were from. I think Chicago, right? Did you say? I believe you said Chicago. Um, I'm on the East Coast. I like the East better because I mean, a lot of people. I have a lot of friends. They moved to the West, but the Gulf is beautiful, but it's only warm air. It's not like I love ocean breeze, so that's what I like. I prefer about the East Coast. I, I'm a Jersey girl, and we all would go to the shore, not the beach. That's the only state I think that says let's go down to the shore. But anyway, yeah, I do like Florida. So if I'm not mistaken, I haven't been there in years. I used to do a lot of travel when I was in real estate, and I used to be um, an IT instructor trainer, so I did a lot of travel. Plus, training within my own company as well. So I've been there a few times. Oh, yeah, I've seen alligators. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we live on a lake where there are alligators. They haven't ever come out of the water yet, but if I've always been told, if there's enough nourishment for an alligator where they're living, they don't come out for food. They'll eat from what they have inside the lake or wherever they're at. They're not in the rivers. They're only but snakes, I think, are. But anyway, yeah, I've seen them. I have little videos. If I ever find them, I've upgraded my phone. So as I said, I'm not techie. So if I ever find it, I'll post it so you can see it. But that one was about a 10-footer. That's big. But they will, if you're dumb and you feed them, some people feed them. I don't know what's going on up here with that, but that encourages them. And they're not friends. You can't train an alligator. It's not like a dog or a cat or something along those lines. But I say wait, but they will go after small children and small dogs or even bigger dogs if they feel threatened. But if you stay away from them, they stay in the lake. And we have an island across from us that goes around, and they seem to hang up in that island. So I'm a distance away from them. But so far, they haven't watched. I hope I don't see one outside on my lawn. But when I first moved here, I used to look under the car. Maybe they'd be under there. But, um, you know, you just learn to live with certain things because every place people live, there's something, as far as a form of predator. I lived in a part of New Jersey that had bears. That was no fun either, but it wasn't. I've never saw one, but my dogs did. But you cope and deal because every place has something. But they haven't bothered me. But I also don't do dumb things. I don't go in the lake. Never will. But there are people that test the waters. That's just stupid. Excuse my language, but it is. It's dumb, Don't test your limits with something like that. But will a large barking dog scare? No. Actually, when dogs bark, they can attract an alligator, especially the little ones. I got little Yorkies, but I have a dog I've taken care of, and I don't let them outside either because their lifespan will be way too short with predators. So, but then there's gopher turtles. They're beautiful to watch and they're harmless. We've got snapping turtles. They say there's bobcats and coyotes around. I haven't seen them, and hopefully I never do. But I haven't had any bad experiences with them. I did worry about that the first year I was living here, but I've been here about 7 years now, a little over 7 years. So no issues with that. But I do love it. And now I have beautiful weather 90% of the year. So I enjoy that. No heavy jackets. I'm tank tops and bathing suits. I mean, I do live sometimes from my pool when I go swimming because that's the beauty of what I do. I don't have a clock to plug in and check into or punch clock. What do they call that for work? Mm-mm. That's why I love what I do. Honestly, um, if no one's ever told you, you're allowed to start over. You're allowed to build something new, even if it does scare you, as I mentioned before. Comment ready, and I'll personally send you exactly what I use that I follow step by step. 100% profit, 24/7, fully automated, and it's global. And one of the best parts, attraction marketing. I don't call, DM anybody. I don't harass them. I don't do any of that. Real estate, I had enough of that. That's what I love about that. It's attraction marketing. So you don't have competition. People that may like me may not like you, or vice versa. So, and when you think about it, there's 5 billion people on social media scrolling. Why not make your phone make money for you instead of spending a gazillion dollars on your phone? Turn it into your best avenue to make money for yourself, even if it's supplemental income or building your retirement savings so it's a more of a safety zone for yourself. It's up to you. You know, but anyway, and 24/7, as I said, it's global. Share this with someone you love who may be stuck in survival mode. So, but anyway, doubt. People have doubt. I always say don't underestimate better transformations. Doubt, DOBT, sorry. The future belongs to those who stop waiting for permission. Let me know. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer before I hop off? Because I love cooking. That's another one of my hobbies. And I just in the middle of finishing up making pepperoni sauce for for the squiggly pasta. So that's what I'm going to be doing momentarily. So if anybody cares to share their thoughts, or if you have a question, I also, if anybody ever wants to go to a free webinar, go to my site in the bio, put in your email, cost you nothing, and I do not bother anyone. That's why I love attraction marketing. I don't need to. And if you have a question, shoot me an email, and you'll also be invited to a free webinar and see for yourself from our CEO mentor, who has been gracious in sharing this program and teaching everybody everything. And since September of 2022, doing what I'm doing, she's earned $6 million. No overhead. So she teaches us. And that's who go into the free webinar, who you'll get to watch and ask your questions and get a lot more depth insight as to more about what I do, the program. So it's up to you. In the meantime, I am going to hop off now and get dinner started. If this has been of any value to anybody, please do me a favor. Put a heart in, or a rose, or a like, or a comment. And if you have any curiosity, want to learn more, feel free to check it out for yourself. As I said, no hype, no fluff, and no strings. Knowledge is power. So, thank you, Bruce. Great to see you again, too. Hope everyone has, what is today? Tuesday? Have a terrific Tuesday. And I will be back for Wonderful Wednesday on TikTok. Around 5:30, 5:45. I'll pre-post something to let you know when I will be going live, which I've been doing lately. And YouTube, I'll be back on Friday. So in the meantime, everyone, have a blessed evening. Be safe, healthy, and thank you all and Tony, I hope you'll, you know, come back on again. And Bruce, it's really great to see you again. In the meantime, be safe and have a wonderful night. And thank you for your support too, Tony, with that other person. I appreciate it. Take care now. Bye bye.